This is from a short story called Farewell to Weiss's. Weiss's was a cafeteria in New Orleans that has since gone by the wayside. Remy and I drove out to River Road in Harahan to see the car from the ad. The owner had bought it for his wife on their 35th wedding anniversary, he said, as the three of us walked up the driveway to the garage behind the house. Remy helped the old man yank up the door and we went inside. The garage smelled of turpentine and sawdust. The car was a red Kerman Ghia convertible. Remy ran his hand along the polished hood. Then the husband next door had to go and buy his wife a Lincoln. The old guy took off his fishing cap and pulled back his thick gray hair. When Edith saw it in their driveway, she copped an attitude with me, said hell would freeze over before she drove this thing again. So I said, fine, Edith, you can walk. And here it sat ever since. I've had it up on cinder blocks for 20 damn years. You think she was stubborn? You like the car? What's not to like, Remy said. It's a beauty. The old man and I stepped out of the garage into the hot sunlight while Remy lingered, peering into the car's interior. Then he followed us onto the drive. The old man squinted when he took off his glasses to rub the bridge of his nose. Remy went back and circled the car in the cramped garage. He kicked one of the tires, not swift or deliberate, more like he needed something to do while he mulled over his decision. Then the three of us stood at the foot of the driveway. The old man offered Remy and me a cigarette. Remy accepted and they smoked and talked about the price quoted in the classified advertisement. Edith died last year, you know, emphysema. Sorry to hear that, I said. I felt like I had to say something. I held on to the car. I don't know why. I don't have any children to give it to, and I hate the damn thing. Mr., Remy said, Filati. Mr. Filati, the car is immaculate, and the price is good, and I like it. Fine then. Sooner you clear her out of the garage, the better. Understood? They shook hands. Might need a battery, though. We can run out and get one, Remy said, looking at me, to be on the safe side. I walked to the road and sat listening to the stereo and the air conditioning of my beat-up Honda Civic. I rolled down the window when Remy tapped on the glass. How's it look, Remy? I'm buying it. We need to go for the battery. Then we'll transfer the title. I drove us to an automotive parts store in Jefferson Highway where Remy picked up a new battery, then brought it to the old man's house. Remy and I lugged it in the car. Remy and I lugged the battery up the driveway into the garage, and the old man helped us install it in the car. Remy slid in behind the wheel and cranked the engine, revved it a little. I climbed in on the passenger side. Don't you think it's a bit impractical, Remy? What do you mean? It's a two-seater for one thing. Remy shrugged his shoulders and shook his head. I want it. Picture this car in a stretch of open road as far as the eye can see, nothing but desert on either side. And this red beauty flying like there's no tomorrow. I see it, but I don't necessarily see you in it. All I'm asking is, if you can't help, then don't be a hindrance, Chip. I feel ready to hit the road again. I'm ashamed that I settled back down here so soon. Returning to New Orleans was only intended as an interim measure, a place between where I was going and where I had been. I believe we should move every 5 or 6 years for personal growth. But New Orleans sucks you in. Things don't change here. You come away for a decade, and it would be like it was yesterday when you come back. My first thought when I returned was that I'd buy a big uptown mansion and turn it into a frat house. But now I just want to take a long vacation in California. New Orleans is too small to contain my curiosity. The old man came out of the house and said he would drive the Kerman Ghia to a notary public on Jefferson Highway to have the title changed. I've got the pink slip. and you meet me at the notary with the cashier's check. He folded the pink slip 3 times and stuck it in his billfold wallet. In the parking lot of the Notary Public later that afternoon, Remy asked Mr. Filati if he needed a ride home. "It's only a mile down Colonial Boulevard. I think I'll walk. Thanks all the same." The 2 men shook hands again. When Mr. Filati was gone, I told Remy that the old man didn't look forlorn enough about the transaction for my taste. "Doesn't that worry you?" I asked. "Not in the least. I think he's glad to have his garage back." I know what you're thinking. It wasn't his woman's church car. The thought did cross my mind. I've known Remy since high school, and at the risk of sounding gloomy, I have to say he has a certain uncanny talent for knowing things. It's like we're plugged into each other on some paranormal wavelength. Remy often answers the phone on the first ring saying, "What's up, Chip?" or "I've been waiting for your call, Chip," in a breathless, almost relieved voice. And this is without caller ID. Now here he was speaking my thoughts again. I wondered if he knew that I had decided to follow his example and slip the city's gravitational pull myself.